Hey, good morning everyone. I wanted to bring to you today some fun little molds that I got. I was looking online trying to find something small that I could use when I have like leftover resin from another larger project. And I came across these little guys and they are so perfect. I know that each one takes about 10 milliliters. Excuse me, tongue tied this morning. And this one, the cat, is a little bit larger in size and it takes about 15, roughly. And I say roughly because it depends on what I do with any other parts of the mold. It's a nice little silicone mold, as you can see. But what's fun is you can really be creative with adding and doing different things. Here is one that I can show you that I did finish a while back ago. Excuse my bump on the camera because I have it actually hanging on the wire here. There we go. But there he is. And this one was done using Resin Rockers. I will put the link in the description below. But Resin Rockers UV resin on the tips that are glow. So the nose and the ear tips all glow in the dark. And I used Let's Resin Camellia mica for this guy's little face. So yeah, it turned out kind of fun, cool. And let me show you guys how I did it. I did decide with this one up here, I wanted his face also to be with the Let's Resin mica. And this one is in it's a chameleon powder called Golden. And I love these little makeup brushes to apply the, kind of varnishes it in there really nice into the silicone. And it holds really nice and you can get into there to small spots. And I applied it after I added my UV resin. So, and I will show you here in a moment how I do it. When I do these in UV resins, the noses and the ears, I do those first. That way I can set them with the UV light, and then I can come back in and add whatever else I need to add in. And nose, ears done first. If I decide that I want to rub a mica powder in there, that would be second. And then the third thing is usually I put in the eyes. However, since I need to rub the micas in here, I don't want to put my eyes in last. I decide to put them in first. Or excuse me, well, prior to the mica. And I'll explain why and I'll show why. I've had troubles in the past where when I go to put my eye in, it would just pop out. So what I have found to do is I take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, I squirt it on the tip of my finger to get a nice drip, and I put that inside there. So I get 1 or 2 drips inside each eyeball to create a little bit of moisture in there, and then I put my eyes in. Another little tip that I will show you that I actually came up with was I had a hard time with my little cat eyeballs because there's tips and I wasn't getting them in there evenly. So I would make a mark as to where the tip is and where the bottom is, and that way when I flip it over, I know and I can pretty much line it up. But anyway, needless to say, got my alcohol, little drop in there. Now I put 2 fingers underneath the bottom of the mold. I'm going to flip this one over because you can see it's kind of rounded. And so my fingers are on the outside with the rounded middle part in between my two fingers. And I take my thumb and I pop that down there. And you can actually hear and feel the suction of that little glass eye popping right down in there. So again, eyeball. I make my mark so I know where I am. And I only need to do these with the cat eyes because of the tips. These other ones rounded, it doesn't matter. So again, you can see my drip of alcohol in there. I can plop my eyeball in. I line it up, get my fingers underneath there, and then push down with my thumb. And you can feel that suction. And that's what kind of holds them in place really nice. Now you can see with me putting the alcohol in there, the reason of why I want to do the eyes first when I know I'm going to be rubbing the micas in there, because I don't want the alcohol to mess up, it's a solvent, so it can mess up your mica when you rubbed it in there. So do your eyes before rubbing your micas. So okay, with that being said, let's move on to our next one. When you do the mica in here, of course, when you're using the chameleons, they turn out better with a dark black background. So I will use with my leftover resin here, I'm going to mix up a little bit and I'll put black pigment. I use Eye Candy Kokio Black. I like this one. It's a nice dark deep black, so I will put that and mix that up and put that in this one. My kitty cat, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use my small town powder in orange, and I'm going to fill him in with that. And this bottom one here, I thought I would have fun, and we're going to attempt to turn this guy into a panda bear. So what I'll use is Let's Resin Black, and this is what I used also for the kitty cat here. Let's Resin colored. It's already colored UV resin. So kitty cat has that, and kitty cat has in his nose, and let's add that into the bear's nose and ears. And then I'm also going to attempt to paint in down in the bottom underneath here a little bit of black to see if we can make his eyes black. So with that being said, let's get this one mixed and poured first. So
Rain from Karina's S21
Jeez, quiet. You hear my Alexa over there. She's going crazy wanting to connect to my phone, and I don't want her to because my phone's taping. So I need about 10 mLs. And we'll mix up a little orange in here. Quiet, quiet, Alexa. We don't need you right now. Okay. Oh, you know what? I just realized I'm mixing the orange. I need to do black for my little guy up on top there. That's okay. Let's mix this one up and we'll set it aside for our kitty cat. And in this case, I know I'm going to need more because my kitty cat is more. Like I said before, he's about 15 mLs. Hopefully I don't sound too rushed today. It's one of those days you got a lot of things going on and trying to get a lot of stuff done. I have my spinner going right to the side over here. I have 2 cups on there that are spinning away. Yeah, it's been a busy Saturday morning. And I still have yet to run to the grocery store because we don't have no food in this dang house. Yeah, so we have to go and remedy that. Okay, let's pour this one and we'll get some black. So how's everybody going today? Anything fun going on? Besides, like me, shopping? When it comes to the black, you don't need much at all. Actually, I got way too much going on here. But as you can see, I just dip it in. And then when I start mixing, you will see it doesn't take much. This one gets really nice and deep black. That's what I like about the eye candy. It is a really nice, deep, rich, and it works very well with Let's Resin chameleon powders. My lord, I think I need to just go back to bed. my tongue don't want to work today. Maybe I need another cup of coffee. Maybe that's what sounds even better, huh? Again, you know, like I say, I love using these molds. They're so quick and easy to come up with little ideas to make for these little guys. And then I turn them into keychains or zipper pulls, whatever you want to call them. Okay, let me set this over here and sit down so I can see what I'm doing here and get it pouring. Don't forget to get it up into the ears, and I will work those in a little bit. Get my stick here so I can... I'm so tight for space. I got so many things going on here this morning. Too many projects. You can see that I've done these quite a few times. I didn't know if I should share these with you or not, but then I thought, this might be helpful for you guys that have leftover resin. It's a cute little fun thing to make, and if you sell, it's a easy way to make a few extra bucks. I buy the eyes off Amazon, and I think there was like 100 eyes, which would be 50 pairs, and it wasn't that expensive. I want to say it was like maybe $12, and I'm saying that off the top of my head, I don't recall, but I know it wasn't that expensive at all. Maybe even been less than that. But the eyes that they give you are all different and unique. I'll show you here. I got a little container. You see, and they're all different. So you can really be creative with, some of the colors. You see, so you can definitely, with your leftover resin, have a lot of fun being creative. Like this one, it's like almost like a dragon snake eye type thing, but you can use it in your cats and turn them into psycho looking kitty cats, like I kind of did with this guy here. and using the UV resin from you can see from Resin Rockers. They are neon and they do glow in the dark. Exactly what it says. Come on, there we go, phone. So yeah, again, I'll put the link in the description before, but definitely check out Resin Rockers. Okay, let's bring this up into the corner a little bit here and pop that bubble. And another thing that I like to do is give it a little spritz of alcohol, because any bubbles that are on the surface, you may even be able to see them, they start popping. So that helps a lot, and it'll sit along the edge, so when they start coming up, the alcohol will get them to pop. The only problem with that is we are so close here. I don't want alcohol in here now. Okay, so our next guy is the one that we mixed up here. But as I stated, I know I'm going to need a little bit more because my kitty cat actually is about 15 ml. So let me add a little bit more to this. Okay, making sure that I have 10 mLs left. Yeah, I'm trying to work fast because my resin is definitely thickening up. You know, again, you know, I use resin that I have left over from a project or projects. And so sometimes by the time I get to it, as you can see, they start thickening up. But one thing you can do to help and remedy that, and I don't do it a lot, but I will get out my heat gun and I'll kind of soften it up and warm it back up a little bit here. Just a little. You don't need much. And get it there. See how nice and it's mixes up now. So it doesn't take much, you know, when you're at the end of your project to get things moving again. That's what you can do. So okay, let's go ahead and pour in our little kitty cat here. And getting in the ears. I don't know if I'm going to have enough for this guy, but we'll film. We'll work with it, and if not, I will add more to it before when I'm done here. But at least you guys can see and understand what I do and how I'm doing it, and what I've found to work with these little guys. Push those up where it needs to be. Come on, get in there. Get in here. And I'm being very careful not to move my stick too much because I just see a little dog hair attached to it. Those little pain in the butts. I don't let them in my office here very often, but you know, hairs attached to your clothing too. So obviously there's that little hair there. Obviously that's what happened, but I don't want it in my stuff. Okay. drip down there. All right, and then our last one. Hopefully we'll be okay with this one. But let's put this off to the side. And let me clean my hands a little bit here. A little bit of alcohol. Okay, so what I do is, I'm going to push this up here first real quick. I want to make sure that it's up into my peaks. The peaks of my ears. There. Yeah, I'll probably have to add a little bit more to this one after the fact, but okay. So, as I stated, what we're going to do is attempt to make this one into a little panda bear. So let me get a little brush here, and what I'm going to do is take, well, actually I don't need that. Let's put it over here. Since I'm not using this side, I'm going to take my black resin and I'm just going to set it up here. Put enough of it that I can have to work with. And that I'm going to use for my underneath my eyes. But for right now, one thing I'm going to show you is on this bear one, the end of the nose, the bottom part here is a lot more shallow than what it is up here. So what I do is I put a popsicle stick under the edge here just to tilt him back a little bit. That way this more shallow part, it's not going to run out. I have experienced that before, so that is my process now. I just take a popsicle stick and I shove it under the end here. That way it keeps the resin here down into the body of the nose. And my resin is very bubbly today. What the heck? Pop those bubbles. Get in just a little, another dot there. There we go. And because of that nose, how I know it is so temperamental, I like to cure it right away. And I'm just going to put it in for 1 minute, just enough to get it to set so it doesn't run back this way. I don't want it to run back this way. Okay. Oh, I gotta make sure that that light doesn't go and hit my resin that I put up here. And I know 60 seconds, 1 minute, it's a long time for you guys watch me do this as we're just sitting here patiently waiting, but I want to at least show you the process so you understand the process and see from what I've learned on how to make these guys. I do love them though. It's like I say, it really allows you to be creative. I've made some very unique ones with a little bit of glitter in clear resin, and then I'll put a white background, after it's cured. Then I'll come back and I'll add a top layer of white behind it. Those turn out really cute. So the first layer you pour inside there is, and again, when you have less than 10 mLs of resin to work with, those are perfect with clear. Throw a little bit of chunky glitter in it, and yeah, just throw it down in there. Okay, let's get his ears. And again, we just kind of put it inside here. I'll put it in both sides. And then I take my toothpick to kind of work it in. you guys are probably only seeing my hand right now, but bear with me. So let's pop the bubbles and then work it down to the edge. Work it to the edge and make sure that it's all nice and even. There we go. Now the ears I won't worry about. The ears I think were okay. They usually stay in place, no problem. Now this is going to be the fun part that I don't. This is my first time. I'm going to try to attempt this. So let's see if we can paint on some panda eyes. I don't know if it's going to work, so I'm going to put this one as an experimental video because again, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're attempting it. I'm thinking with a panda we have to come down a little bit, am I correct? And you know, with UV resin, it has a tendency to shrink back up. As you can see, I put it down, but then it kind of like shrinks up into itself. So I might have to do these in layers to get it to go where I want it to go. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Now, is a panda, is the black eye all the way around? I know I remember seeing it on the bottom, but I don't recall if it goes all the way around. So I think, I don't know. I got this, it's coming up around by the eye. I think I'm going to try to cure it real quick here so it doesn't shrink back up. And I'm going to do this step by step, protecting my resin up here so it doesn't harden on me. I think yeah, okay, I don't need to do too much.
Someone was
Just enough.
detected at your front door.
Well, thank you, Alexa. I'm glad somebody was detected at my front door. You know, I've gotten into the habit of unplugging her when I know I'm videotaping. But as you can tell from earlier, I've just been kind of on a roll this morning with getting things done, and I totally didn't even think about her. But she likes to have her say and likes to have her attention, you know, when I videotape every single time. So usually I just eliminate her attention and I unplug her. There. You know, that's sitting on there very good. I'm gonna attempt to paint all around. I don't remember. Does the panda have black all around its eyes? Well, we're gonna put the UV resin all around anyway. I know it comes down a little bit, like I said, on the bottom, so good there. Now you can see why I put my resin up there. It's so easy. I use it like as a, what do you call it, a palette plate? Paint palette? Is that what you call it? That way I can just kind of dip right off of it. Actually, this one is coming along really well. Usually it shrinks. UV resin has a tendency to just shrink back up into itself, and this one is staying together really nice. So I think I'm gonna luck out. Let's cure this one. I have my little Let's Resin lamp here. I don't have a big one. I don't do much with UV resin. So when I bought some UV resin, I bought the like kit from Let's Resin, and this lamp came with it. And it works perfect for these little things that I do, and the little bit that I do use UV resin for actually is very handy. And what I do is the cord, I have it attached to a little power pack, my little travel power pack. Okay, now let's go ahead and see if we can extend this one down a little bit more. And then also we will bring it up around to the top of the eyes as I did with this one. And by all means, if you guys aren't interested in watching this, fast forward, that's fine. But I'll show you the end results. You know, when I demold these at the end, you'll see, like I always do, we'll do mold at the end of the video. So if you want to see how they turn out, you can fast forward to that point. No worries. And for those of you that are still hanging around with me as I'm doing this, thank you for your patience. Thank you for taking the time to hang with me today. And thanks for your support. You know, I always like to hear from you guys. I always like to hear your thoughts. And if you have any other ideas that you'd like to see for me to kind of come up with, by all means, tell me. There. And that looks good. Let's cure that. And then, while that's curing, I am going to warm up this little bit of resin that I have left here and put some white pigment paste in there. I'm sure you can hear me on the back here. Just I'll warm up the bottom of it. Warm up the bottom and warm up the... You can already see it moving, which is good. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's get some white pigment paste in here. I want it pretty opaque, so I'll show you what I have. There. And find a stick to mix it here. Yeah, that baby's getting thick. The only problem that I don't like when it gets thick like this is bubbles. Because it gets thick and then the bubbles. Boy, I am just so tongue-tied today. The bubbles will kind of stick underneath there and not come out. I'm going to warm this up really quick, just a little bit more. The only good thing is the micro bubbles. With doing this, it'll pop those, and I could see them all popping. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Oh, my eyeballs. We can't forget our little eyeballs. Oh yeah, that's much better. Can you see that? Yeah, it's mixing much better now. Warm it up that last time. See how nice and opaque that is? Okay. Now, let's get our eyeballs in there. Again, these ones I don't have to worry about giving me any kind of trouble with not knowing where they are. Put a little alcohol and in there, and we'll pop them in here. Pop one, fingers underneath to support, and I wish you guys could hear it, but it's so soft. You know, when you go to push it in, let's see, I'll bring it up closer. Let's see if you can hear it. You hear that? Oh, there you go. Pop. There. Okay. Kind of watching there because with having too much alcohol I had inside there, it started making crap. You see that? Yeah, and I know that I've done this before, so I know I'm not supposed to do that. Usually I'll put only a little bit of alcohol in there, because otherwise what it does is it makes your UV resin pop off the silicone. Crap. So now, now I have to go back in and do that one again. See? See, guys? Now you know why you're along for the ride with me. There you go. So don't do that. You know, either you add just a little bit of the resin, or of the alcohol, so extra doesn't pop out, or you put your eyeball in first like you do with when you're using the micas. Live and learn. And of course, you guys are hanging with me, so you are learning from my mistakes. And that's why I love making mistakes while I'm on camera, because it's totally all impromptu and we just go with the flow. Right? That's all you can do. But at least you guys can see it. You know what I do wrong, and I hope you won't make the same mistakes that I do. So, okay, almost done with this guy, and then we'll cure him. We'll get him cured, pour in our white pigment on top of it, and then they will be all done, ready to go. There. Do you think he looks like a panda? Good enough. Clean off my brush. Let's cure him back on here. I'm only going to cure him for 30 seconds just to get it going there. And let's get all this out of the way. Again, this guy, black, I'm going to give him a little spritz again. I see a little bubble. I don't know if you can see it, but there. Okay, so he's popped and spritzed. And again, what we did with him, we used Let's Resin, Golden Chameleon Pardo. His ears and his nose were Resin Rockers UV Burst UV Resin, which glows in the dark. It was neon yellow. Then for our kitty cat, we used Let's Resin UV Colored black UV resin for his ears and his nose. We used eye candy, Cayuco Black, for for this guy, for the black in the background here, and the kitty cat for his background we used orange, small tongue mica, and my panda bear again, Let's Resin black UV resin cured. And now we will pour in our, oh boy, is this getting thick. Yeah, unfortunately I wasted too much time for him, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully he'll turn out okay. I can see I actually have a little bit extra resin here. I should have put in for our kitty cat, because our kitty cat is a little shallow. So now I'll have to wait for my next project to get a little bit more, and I'll add to the back of him. We'll add a little bit more mica too. I can tell it could have been a little bit more mica mixed in, orange mica. It would have looked better, but that's okay. That's an easy fix. Adding resin to a project like these are so easy. Very easy fix. Okay, I'm gonna get my little wet wipe here. And I'm going to spritz. See how that alcohol, how nice, it just makes those little bubbles come to the surface and pop. And I'll watch it. I usually come back in about 10 minutes and I'll see there'll be more bubbles that come up, and then I'll squirt it again. Okay guys, that's it for now. I'll bring you guys back later when I go to demold these, so you can see what they turn out, how they turn out, and what they look like, and hopefully you will find interest in using these guys for your leftover resin. See you soon. Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in real quick and show you this. When this one's set up, I didn't realize that I didn't put enough mica in it, and it's a little more transparent than what I would like it to be, so you can see the paper backings that they have on the glass eyes. They're showing through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a black just to offset, and you won't see the ears or anything through it. I'm going to put a black background on this one, and you'll see it when I'm done and when we go to demold. Hey everyone, welcome back to demolding day. Last we left off, I had popped in and I told you that I was gonna backfill this one with a black, in which I did. And yeah, everything's looking pretty good. I'm gonna flip this around and show you, see what it looks like from this side. Mr. Bunny. And he's got his little glow-in-the-dark nose and ears. You can kind of see the chameleon powder. But let's demold him and see how he turned out. Welcome back everybody. I hope you had your day was good. This is my evening, so hopefully you guys had a good day. How do you like the color combination on that one? It goes from a gold to a green. That's kind of why I chose that mica chameleon powder. I see I wasn't good with bubble. We have a little bubble there. I can fix that. So I just will take a little bit of UV resin. Let's see if I can get him to, there we go. I will take a little bit of UV resin and I will fill that in and then cure it. it happens. You have to really be careful with the UV resins. They seem to be a little bit on the thicker side, the ones that glow in the dark, excuse me. And so sometimes what I'll do is I'll sit it in a little cup of warm water to soften them up and then mix them up. But I was in a little bit of a hurry the other day when I was filming these. Also, what I'll show you here is you can see a little bit of little pieces here. What I do is I just take, this is from the dollar store, an emery board file from the dollar store, and I just lightly buff those little extra edges off like so. And they come right off nice and easy. There, you can kind of see better. So he's got them all the way around, even on the bottom here. You see, let me get my hand under here again. You can see a little bit of the extra green. Just come down, file that off, and you're good to go. He's got them all the way around here. See, that one actually will come off in a whole piece. So yeah, that's all you do with that. And they turn out really cool. And then I'll show you what I do after we're done demolding these. I'll show you what they turn out, what we do to turn them into either a pull chain or keychain, however you want to define it. This was our little kitty cat that had blue eyes, and just we did black ears, and I did a orange mica face on him. They come out so nice. There, wow, he turned out actually kind of cool. I was kind of hesitant with putting the black background, but it was so transparent on the other side that I thought, well, maybe it'll define the mica a little bit better with the orange by doing so, and I think we achieved that. Do you guys agree? So actually, he's pretty good. He doesn't have much edging. There's a small little piece here that, well, there, I picked it off with my nail. So otherwise, he looks pretty darn good. And those blue eyes, wow, is that killer in this one? I like that. Okay, put him here. And last but not least, our little panda. From this side, he looks like he turned out pretty dang good. Wow. And now you can see with doing the UV resin, you have a little bit more control because you can cure it quicker than what you could just using regular epoxy resin, because you would have to wait for that to cure. And I'll tell you, my test piece I tried. This is my test piece and this is for doing a panda, you know, with those kind of, you know, circled around the eyes. This was my test piece. This was with regular resin, epoxy resin. And the white epoxy resin, the bright white tinted epoxy, is heavier than what the black was. So what happened was the black all rose to the top, which of course in your mold, you know, is your top, this side, and it all rose to the top, and that's why he does not have any eyes. But again, I learned from, you know, doing this test piece and trying it out that regular epoxy doesn't work that way. So that's when I started purchasing and learning UV resin and utilizing it in making some of these guys. So I'm glad to see, and I'm very happy that this has turned out. One thing that I will say is, now that I have demolded him, I like to go in, since this is UV, all these are UV, I like to go in and cure them one more time for a minute and a half. And I just do it to be on the safe side, and then I leave them to dry for a good 24 hours after that. I'm not going to do that today, only because I wanted to show you. I will with him. I will leave him and I will let him dry a little bit longer. This one I'm a little bit more positive with, and I know I'm going to fix this. So I'm going to show you on this guy what I do from here. I have a little Dremel tool. This is my little Dremel tool. Got it on Amazon. Simple and easy. It has all different parts, but I use the drill the most. Let me put that here and let me get my rings that I use. I have to walk all the way over to the other side of my office and grab these. So I have jump rings. They're 12 millimeter jump rings, and let me open them so you can see. I have them in gold and I have them in silver. So these are my 12 millimeter jump rings. Okay, so like this guy here, I'm going to use a gold one. I think gold will look better with him. And then I have chain pulls or keychains. I don't, whatever you want to utilize them for. Again, silver and gold, and they look like this. They're just little pulls. The ones that I have, they actually swivel, so they got a little swivel to them. So I will take my 12 millimeter, I'm going to drill a hole in the ear, open the jump ring, put the jump ring through the hole, and then I also connect it here to the end of the pole or keychain. And these are really nice because they're just nice, simple spring loaded. See that? Poles. So yeah, there you go. So that's what we're going to do with this guy, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Let's move my mold out of the way, and I'm going to sit back down. So if you hear the chair noise, that's not me passing gas. That is actually the chair. So don't get funky on me, guys. I won't be that rude to you on camera. All right. So what I do is I take my jump ring, and never open and pull your jump rings apart this way. You want to always take your jump rings and split them this way. And I open them pretty good because, you got quite a bit of thickness to go through. See that? On that ear. So you open them quite big. So there we go. Okay. And I turn my little Dremel on. I turn it on only to low. It's, to me, easier to work with. Let me bring you guys down here. And then I go in the upper middle part of the ear, and I don't push it down. Yeah, you're pushing it down, but ever so slightly. Let the Dremel or the drill do its job. You don't need to force it down. Just letting the drill do the work is the best thing. And I use this nice little fluffy brush to kind of clean out all those little resin drill bits. And then I flip it over and I come back through that same hole again just to clean it up on both sides. And just for sake of cause, I always go through the front again also. And I kind of go up and down, as you saw there, just a little bit, just to clean it out. Okay. Turn this off. And I brush it through again. Get everything clean on both sides. And I put my jump ring through. I like to keep the opening and the jump ring on the inside of the ear. It depends on which one. Like the cat, when I'm working the cat, if I go on the cat, it's going to stay. but the bunny and the bear are more smaller, shorter, and rounded. So this does move, but when you do the kitty, you will find out that when you drill your hole, it will stay. The jump ring isn't big enough to come back around. The tip of the ear here will stop it. So I always do it on the inside. So it hangs, when it hangs, it's gonna hang like this, versus if you do it on the outside, it's gonna hang down like that. Does that make sense? So if the jump ring stays on the inside, it's gonna hang more like this. But if you do the jump ring on the outside, it's gonna hang like that. So more hanging down. I like my kitty cat to hang more straight up and down, and that's why I put it on the inside. And again, you do whatever you want, what you like. That's just what I've found I like. And that's what I do. So again, slip in that bottom ring around your end of your jump ring, and then twist that jump ring back in place. Okay. The epoxy resin right now is still, I mean, if I go to bend this, it's still soft and pliable enough that really I could bend it. With that being said, usually I like to wait at least a good 24 to even 48 hours if I can before I do this part. Because he can't lay flat anymore, as you can see, and I don't want to risk this starting to fall flat with this big old jump ring here, because it's not laying flat, the ear is up. So I'm just doing this to show you what I do, but normally you'd want to wait a good at least 24 hours, but the more the merrier. I like to go for about 20 or 48 hours before I add my jump rings. That way I know the resin's, cured enough that it's stiff enough, cured enough that it can handle having this in place. And with me not having it flat, laying flat anymore, it's gonna still stay in position. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you liked the little tutorial, the vlog on this one. Again, like I said, these are a lot of fun to make. Here, I'll even put my other little chameleon powder one that I did. This one went from purple to green. I think I showed you that early on in the video. So yeah, hopefully you guys have fun with using these kind of molds for using up your leftover resin. I like these a lot. They're easy to sell, and they're fun. They make great, simple, and easy gifts, and you can be so creative with them. So hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for hanging with me, guys. Bye-bye.